We had such an incredible last 3 weeks and weekends and working on events and coming together as a team. This is not about the PowerPoint at all, but I just wanted to congratulate and everybody who showed up, who played full out, who got all their contacts. And I know that everybody's really, really excited to go into momentum. And I'm seeing this all over the world. And I wanted to talk about habits tonight, because I think this is a really, really important subject, because we can't get rid of habits. We can only replace them. And in our mindset, in our actions, and we're going to talk about that. And I'd love for you all to participate, because a lot of the times we get on courses, we get into trainings, and we might take some notes, and might be exercises involved in it. And we tend to, put this stuff aside and I'll do it later. And often things don't get done. And then, 6 months go down the road and things haven't changed. And I think this session is going to really help you open up a little bit about, maybe where you are right now with habits, and where you want to be after this session is finished. So please, in the chat section, definitely participate so you can, get better results by speaking it. I always say you have to speak it to get results. So let me see here. Oh my God, I haven't done a PowerPoint in so long. Hold on. I gotta be doing this more often. Sorry, guys. I don't use PowerPoint. That's why I don't know.
And by the way, Tammy, you're on Facebook Live right now.
Yeah, no, but I don't do PowerPoint, so I don't.
Okay, just to add the pressure on.
No, I'm okay with that, Chris.
It's
I'm
all good.
Right?
All good.
No pressure for me. I just
We're
don't. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Did you move it? We're good. I'm running on adrenaline here. Alrighty. So as we talked about not getting rid of the habits by changing those habits, you can't get rid of them. They'll always pop up. Every single time you get into a situation, you'll recognize some things that are holding you back. And the key is to recognize it and change it in that moment, whether it's a word or something you're saying about yourself or about others, is to recognize it and create that shift immediately. And then you'll notice that you start going into programming of new habits into your life. And I'm sharing this training based on a lot of experience over the years, because I had to do a lot of mind shifts and a lot of action shifts when I got involved in network marketing, because it was a new baby for me. I come from traditional business, and a little bit different when you come into the network marketing space. So yeah, so I'm going to go through some of the, there we go. I got it, you guys. Alrighty. So the truth about habits, and we all know this. Every single one of us know that we are programmed. We are programmed by birth. Think of all the things that your parents have said to you growing up, all of the things in your social environment, through church, through the school system, through family members, things that have been said that you've repeated over and over and over, and you start to program that into your life and into your DNA. And by the time you become an adult, often we don't even realize it. I took so many courses when I started network marketing to realize some of the big habits that I was playing full out in weren't even my habits. They weren't even my blueprints. So it's important for us to dig up some of the past to realize what you brought into the future. And it's time to flip that coin. Because for things to change, for things to get better, for things to move forward, we need to recognize these things, whatever it is. And we're going to go through some exercises through the process. So when I saw this picture, I said, yeah, that's it. That's the one. Okay, so the three areas, mindset, beliefs, and actions. And we're going to talk about all three of those tonight. And when I looked at this photo, I thought, oh my gosh, there's so much going on in our lives, in our mindsets, in our behaviors. And, sometimes we just get lost in all of this. And I know that the environment has made a huge impact on people's behaviors, mindsets, actions. That's another reason why I want to do this presentation with you, is because of things that are happening in today's world. Just connecting with people on a regular basis, getting to know people, asking questions. Man, you learn a lot. And we need to go back. We need to get back to the basics. Okay, so we're going to go into this. So I want all of you to participate. So we're going to start with the mindset first, because again, we are programmed from birth on what to think about. We tend to follow the patterns of people around us. You might be like me, a little rebel. I was always a rebel, and always trying new things. And I kept being placed back in that box like the other kids. And my parents always said, why can't you be like the other children? So I thought that being creative and getting into my own space and being myself was a good thing, only to realize when, and then you start going back into that box. And then I get out of the box, I get back in the box, I get out of the box. Can any of you relate to this at all? Some of these things that we go through as children, it might not be that specific illustration, but some of the things that you can think of where you try to spread your wings and be free and be yourself, but you're contained based on your social environment. It may not even be your parents. Your parents could be those people that encourage you to flourish, and then you get to school and it's a different ball game. So think of all of these things. And I always like to put positive pictures out there, because that's where we need to move towards. And as often as we can, is to stay in that environment of what we think about expands. Might as well put good things out there that can expand and grow from there. And so anytime you're in a situation, ask yourself, what are you thinking about for you to be in that space? Whether it's debt, whether it's lack of time, whatever it is that you put out there for the reasons that you are where you are right now. And I'm really want to focus on business, because that's where we all need to take our skill sets and mindsets to another level. And it is a Wolf Diamond training. So, so let's do some exercises here. So I want you to write out everything that you can think of based on kind of a little bit of stuff that I've been sharing, that you think about yourself or speak about yourself, whether it's in the mirror, in front of a mirror, or maybe you're saying to other people. And this is about self right now. Okay, so what are some things that you think about yourself and speak about yourself, whether in front of the mirror? I mean, we all do it. What are some of those things? And write them down. And if you are comfortable enough to share them in the chat, that would be wonderful to have some participation. And Chris and I, we recently did this again, as we do often, is to go back and think about, why we're stuck, or where can we improve on some areas in our life and in our business, and what do we need to do? So we went from the mindset to the beliefs to the actions. So write out some things Let me know if any of you have written out at least 5 things. In the chat section, put a yes if you've written out at least 5 things in that area. I guess you're too busy writing things. I know, Chris, you're keeping an eye on Facebook, and a lot of you are going to get this training, and you're going to be able to go back to the recording and stop and start, because it's really important to do these exercises, and do this exercise to find out what verbal or mindset habits that are holding you back. Because often we don't realize that it's something in the past that has been repeated to us that we've held on to, and we speak about moving forward. So what are those things for you personally? If anybody wants to share in the chat, you're welcome to share. Or an idea or something that you think that other people may be going through. What are some ideas out there? All right, so make another list of all the great habits that you're so proud of, because there's so many things I think that we don't give ourselves credit for, and we're constantly out there hustling. And I know I'm that type of personality, that I always want to do more. I always want to get out there, and sometimes I forget about the victories. Like the last 5 events that we did, I sat back and I gave Erica a high five when we were unloading our booth, saying, wow, 5 days, we're totally awesome. And I was proud of that, because normally I'd be like, on to the next thing. So these are some of the things that I have to work on personally. So put a star beside the habits that you're so proud of, something that you've done recently. Write it down. Okay, and focus on, obviously, you want to focus on the good things, but you also have to look at some of the things that you need to improve on. Okay, so you need that balance. I think balance in life is really, really important. So make an intention to get better with the thoughts and the words that don't serve you.
Well, Tammy, I'm not sure if you're following your comments. I know that
I
Allison.
am. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm following Allison. Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. So we got fear of rejection. Yes. Yeah, that's a big one. I think a lot of people can relate to that, Allison. And you've got insecurities about some parts of my body. Yeah, that's very common in a lot of people. So yes. So what can you tell yourself that could make that shift and to create that change? What can you tell yourself in the mirror when you look in the mirror? What are some positive things that you can say to yourself that will help you overcome some rejection? Because people they're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting you. They may not be on the same page as you, but they're not rejecting you. Often that is people, if they don't respond, like if we're talking about business, it just might not be the right timing for that person. And then we feel like we might be rejected because of that, but they're not rejecting you. It's just they're not the timing's not good. They didn't get enough information, and understand that, because it's not something that's personal to you, but how can you change that emotionally? That's a good thing. So thanks for sharing, Allison, because a lot of people are part of, they can relate. So I go back and forth. I'm tired, doing too much. I'm doing okay. And then I'm blessed. I look and feel younger every day. Thank you, Josie. That's great. So I'm just briefly going through some stuff. Yeah, so write out the things that you're challenged with and create that positive around it. and celebrate your victories too. So I'm looking at some of the things, positive affirmations daily. Absolutely, Scott. This is critical. And, write out your 5 key positive affirmations that you can say to yourself every single day, the moment you wake up. Don't even wait until you get out of bed and go and do your things, because you're probably not going to say it. The moment you wake up, this is the time. And be in gratitude, right? Always in gratitude for all of these great things that are happening in your life. Even when things are challenging, you have to put it out there, because we need to create that change first in the mindset. So not looking healthy when have excess weight. That is a big one. I think a lot of people beat themselves up. They really do. And the truth is, we're perfect. All of us are perfect, just the way we are. And you have to love yourself the way you are. And the more love you give yourself, and create small little changes, if it's something that you want to make a change, do those small little changes, but don't forget to love yourself, because it's not about what you look like on the outside. It's who you are on the inside. That is the most important person that you're looking at in the mirror, is you, who you are as a human being. Okay. And yes, we all want to work on stuff like that. I get it. I'm the same way. I beat myself up a little bit when I get off my meal planning, and sometimes I'm feeling sluggish. But one of the things that I've noticed is, because I've done these exercises so many times, is I recognize it, and then I get back on. And that's what you want to do. You want to recognize it and then get back and make those changes. Okay. And yeah, so being in health and wellness, I want to show the results I'm selling. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. And you look great, by the way, Marie Paul. Yeah, Marie Paul came over today and she looks fabulous. Janet, I'm tired. Fear of some people's opinions on MLM. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that we can all relate to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so thanks everybody for participating. I have to move on in the training, but you get the exercise. So take the time to do this. You're gonna see huge shifts when you start recognizing some of the things. And a lot of the time, these habits are not even yours. You'll realize that it's something you picked up along the way, and you just adopted it and moved forward with it and just made it your own.
Hey, Tammy, before we shift, can I add something to the mindset?
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when it comes to your mindset, and this is something that you have to be very, very mindful of, because we often underestimate what we think about and what is their dominant thought. This is something I had to work on big time. Is you may say, I want to build a big business in network marketing. I want to be able to do all of these things, and you're setting all these goals, but your thought and what you're thinking about, oh, it's too expensive, oh, the inflation is too high, oh, Canadians don't like this, or these are all things that you have to be careful, because what your most dominant thought of what you focus on the most is unfortunately what you will be facing on a daily basis. So how do I work on this? Is the moment I see myself venturing into these negative thoughts that goes against what the goals are, you got to stop yourself. You got to stop yourself. And one thing you can do, and I'm telling you, it works really, really well, is you remember those cartoons, the Bugs Bunny, and you had the angel on the one side and the devil on the other side. You remember those little characters that were in their shoulders, right? Give me a thumbs up if you remember that. Just want to make sure everybody's following, right? Okay. So what I do is I look at the devil's side and I say, oh, thank you for sharing. And I move on. And I change my thought. And it's crazy how effective this is. Put me to the test and try it. So the moment you focus on something you want, when it comes to your desire, what it is that you want to accomplish, which is really set your mindset to get to what you want to. And again, it's not all about the money here, folks. I'm just using an example because especially in this time, everybody wants to live a better quality of life when it comes to their finances situation, because things have changed so much for people. And then often you turn around, well, this is happening, but that's happening. Gas is too high, blah, 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 blah. And what you have to do is the moment your mind is talking to you about these things, look on whatever side that little devil is and say, oh, thank you for sharing, and move on. In other words, you are irrelevant. You can talk, but you're not influencing me on that thought. That's kind of the logic that goes behind that. Thank you for sharing. So I just want to add this because I learned that years ago with the T. Harv Eker training back in 2006, 2005, 2006, 2007. And this is when the shift has happened and suddenly network marketing became big business for Tammy and I. But this is when I really started shifting and training myself to catch myself, not getting caught up into the drama that keeps me exactly where I was. So just food for thought. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, you kind of brought us back into some moments where we had broke boards, we had slammed nails, and we put everything on that we wanted to change the situations, the mindset, or an action or a habit that we wanted to change. We would do that. And it's so powerful, especially when you're with a group of people doing exercises like this. And, you know, feel free to do stuff like this with your team members, because this is important exercises to help each other break through some of the challenges that we're having in building our businesses or in our life in general, you know, how we feel about self, whatever it is, we need to catch that, like Chris said. And if it's negative, you need to get rid of it. Just flick it and have that change thought process or action that you need to do. And we're going to go into the actions after. Okay, so I hope everybody screenshot this. I've asked Marcel to create a copy of this for everybody, and that'll be part of our session. Okay, the screen doesn't want to change. Watch me go into a few slides. Oh, there we go. Okay, so beliefs. And this is what we all need to do, because every single one of us has a cape. You know that, right? Every single one of us. Do you remember when we were kids? We knew we had superpowers. Like seriously, every single one of us, no matter what we did, all the cartoons we watched, we could imagine all of this stuff. And then we get into adulthood again, and everything is programmed, and we realize that whatever our income ends up being is who we are and what we have, and that's it. And people would not go beyond that. So how do we break these habits? Well, again, you got to go back into that childlike thinking and know that every single one of you can do anything that you truly desire. If you want to, you have to want to, right? And that's the key. So, you know, we talk about beliefs. Let's go into some of the beliefs that I want to talk about when it comes to a business, because this one is important, and we need to go through these exercises. And don't just go it through once, go through it again in 6 months from now, because if the numbers change, that means you're growing. Your actions are growing, your mindset's growing, everything's growing. So rate yourself right now on the beliefs about yourself and your capability in business, in earning potential, whatever it is for yourself moving forward, becoming a great leader, team builder, whatever it is that you desire to be, do, have, and all of, you know, in the business. Write down some of these things beside that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself. And then when it comes to the products, this is a big one. I know that a lot of you would put a 10 right now. I bet you if I asked you to check your piece of paper, you got a pen down, you got a 10 down there. Everybody, most everybody has a positive number when it comes to the products. And if you put a 10, just put a 1 in the chat if you put a 10. Yeah, so that is something that we have a very strong belief. And the reason I believe that every single one of us have a strong belief around the products is because we've all had or had somebody that we love had a tremendous product experience. So it's easy for us to communicate about the products and the results with the products. But if you're having some challenges there, that's where you need to go back and look at it. You know, go back and try the products. Maybe you didn't give it a shot in long enough. Everybody has a different result at a different time. So go back and get that experience, get more people on the product, because you are never going to have the same experience as Marie Paul or as Scott or Janet or Josie. None of us are going to have the exact same experience. So the more people you get on these products, what happens is you get emotional, because it's going to make a difference in people's lives. Okay, so team, when it has to do with team, are you high positive with team environment, about the team, the beliefs around your team, on a scale of 1 to 10? You need to rate that. And some changes need to be in the mindset, having more faith and belief in other people. It could be that too. So in team environment, how you behave in a team environment. Are you a team player? Right? That's the big one, because network marketing is about building teams. It's about elevating people. It's about service and company. What rate yourself on max on a scale of 1 to 10, and where you need to brush up on some of that thought process, and if you're ever challenged, always go up and talk to somebody in the leadership that can listen, obviously, and help you guide you on some things, depending on any situation, right? So the profession of network marketing, that's got to be the biggest one. And Janet, you said it right there. The fear of other people, what they think of it. And the truth is they don't understand it, or they may have had a bad experience, because I've had lots of conversations with people who have been in the profession. And then we get talking about their experience. Then I get talking about, well, how much time did you actually put into it? And then we got into, in that time that you put into it, how many people did you connect to? And what was your experience with all that? And then by the end of that conversation, interesting enough, they had said that they really didn't give it 100%. And if they would have, they probably would have had a different result. So these are the conversations that you'd have with people, if you're connecting with them and they didn't have a good experience with network marketing. And never make a judgment call on your experience in this profession compared to other people. Okay, so this is really, really important. If I would have, I would say the first 20 people on my list when I came into network marketing, it was all negative. Imagine, I had just started, never been in network marketing. 3 of my sponsor quit, her sponsor quit, and her sponsor's sponsor quit. And I was just sitting there. Anybody who read our book know this story. And I could have quit. I could have easily quit. But no, I made a decision. I was going to the top, and I was going to learn how to build this business, and I was going to surround myself with people who could take me there. And that's exactly what I did, all the way to the top. So spend time to build your belief around that. Compensation plan, same thing. A lot of people don't know the comp plan. A lot of people don't understand it, because if you read through this and really got to know the model, the basic foundation and the outcome, you wouldn't sleep unless your belief is that you can't do it. If you believe you could do it and you saw the comp plan, you wouldn't sleep. I know, because that's the way we were when we first started with Max. We were like, oh my gosh, this is huge. And it is. And so we've got lots of opportunity here. So work on your beliefs. And in 6 months from now, go back and look at this sheet. And that number should change if you're growing personally, if you're catching those habits that are not serving you, and moving into positive habits. And then we're going to go into actions, which we had a couple slides here. And so going into actions, what's really important is to know your habits around the actions. And I think a lot of us know our habits around our actions. And if you don't, it's again, you know, you want to go back and do an exercise around that. You know, time is no excuse. And I'm going to tell you, these 15-minute segments that we've been doing has been proven it. It's proven that everybody can do 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes, most of those 15 minutes have turned into 30 minutes plus. So people realize that they do have 15 minutes to do this, you know, throughout the day, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. You can do 15 minutes. And when you set a timer, it's going to create that sense of urgency to do as much as you can in those 15 minutes that you have, concentrated 15 minutes. So write down your daily actions from the morning you wake up until you go to bed, because I'm going to show you that you have 15 minutes in your day. You have more than 15 minutes in your day. So, so write down all the things that you have from morning to evening and find out where you can put some 15-minute slots in there that you could do Max, where you could do the money-making activities of connecting with people, obviously inviting to have a look at some information, and so simple with the boards. And then invite them to a presentation, invite them to have a connection with your sponsor, your leader. And from there, it's a decision making. So you have time to do this. I can tell you that. So take the time. We're not going to do this in this session, but take the time to do that and do this exercise with your team members. You're going to see, you're going to go far and create that accountability around it. I'm really proud of the teams that have stuck to these 15-minute segments. And I see the results. I see the results in your behavior. I see the results in your actions. I see the results in your results. I'm seeing it. So kudos to all of you who are doing it. And so once you write out your day, I want you to put an S or an NS beside everything that you wrote down in your day. And I'm going to ask you to send that, screenshot it and send that to your sponsor. If your sponsor is not active, you know who you're working with when you go up in the organization. So send that so that they can help and guide you and keep you accountable. Okay, so if it is not serving, then what can you do to replace it so you can move forward in your actions, in everything that you have written down on your schedule. Okay, so S for serving you, and it doesn't go, not serving you. What can you replace that with? Can you delegate some of these things so that you can take 15 minutes that turns into 30 minutes, that'll turn into 45 minutes. And next thing you know, you're at the next rank. Next thing you know, your team member just hit bronze. How exciting is that? Next thing you know, your team members hit silver and they're building bronzes, and so on and so forth.
Hey, Tammy, I want to share a practical thing that I do when it comes to action exercise.
Mhm.
See, obviously you're not going to be able to see this here, but you can see that there's some scribble over here. And what this is here, this is a week. This is the date where my week starts on Sunday and it finishes on Saturday. Okay, so that's day one of the week. That's day two. And what I do is sometimes I get overwhelmed because there's so much going on in a day. And what I do is I write down, for example, on the Monday morning, usually that's when I write, and I write all the things. There's 7 things that I wrote that I did. One of them was my accounting paper. For me, this is like a root canal to go through anything that has to do with accounting. But unfortunately, it is part of living and it is part of being in business. It's something that's important. And my accountant was waiting for these papers. As you know, all our bank statements are not physical anymore; they're digital. So I got to go through January, February, March, April, May, June, and I was done. Cross. And you know what happens? It's really interesting, but when I write a list, you probably can't really see it here, but you can, there's a cross over that over here. And I don't know about you, but every time I cross something on my list, I get this feeling of satisfaction. And it's really interesting and encouraged me to continue. I know it's a little bit beside what Tammy's talking about. She's talking about the daily action, but I'm talking of a practical accountability tasks that I do from Sunday to Saturday. We have to do videos for the Philippines, which is absolutely critical. 2 of them that we need to do. Sort out all my leads that we had from the trade show ballot, where I put them into a database, and then from there I prepare an email and I send them an invitation and all of these things. All of that was sent to tomorrow. I need to actually make calls and follow up with them. These are all the things that are going to be serving me. Receive an email from Dr. John Kendall when it comes to some things that Tammy and I have to do for preparing for as we age, as mid 50s, whatever. Leave that aside, the details, but the bottom line here is it's again, these are all important, right? And another thing is my new business. Oh yeah, I bought this fancy business card, right? Like, for me, business cards are annoying, but what I found is I have this metal business card. And what happened is you go online and you fill all the details. This could be bought on Amazon. And whenever I'm around someone's phone, you just put it around the phone, and all your information, whatever details you want, whatever website, it's like your link tree or whatever you want to show your social environment, your social media, everything, and it gets transferred to their phone. So as you know, I'm a bit of a techie guy. So I'm just sharing with you how I'm organizing my day. And then from there, I don't need to buy business cards anymore, because I'm carrying that one business card that is digitally transferred to a cell phone, and you don't need to be techie for that. It's very, very simple. And these are the things that practically I do, is these tasks. I've been doing this for, honestly, almost 2 decades. And every time I do this, and sometimes I spend weeks without doing this, and I'm not remotely as productive. But when I do that, it is amazing how productive I become. And I focus on the details that are specifically in line with our goals. So I just wanted to share that, which is a practical step that I do when it comes to the daily actions and habits that is in line with my goals. And there are some things that are not specifically for my goals, but they are important, because it's like, if you don't brush your teeth every day, even though it's not urgent, but it is important, we know what's going to happen in the long term. So there's some things that needs to be taken care of. So back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so going back to the exercise is where you are right now, and in your actions. What are your daily habits that you're doing every single day, from the moment you wake up till you go to bed? If you work out, it's serving you, right? It's common sense. If you drink, you're drinking your quota of water, that's serving you. If you're, for example, the accountability, I wrote down the accountability sessions that I get on, it's serving me. And so little things like that, and start writing some of the things. Does anybody have distractions in their life? Do you recognize any distractions throughout the day at a certain time? Sometimes I recognize these things. And then I ask myself, what can I do in that time if I feel distracted? Well, maybe I need to shut down for 30 minutes and go sit on the balcony and just breathe. You know what I mean? So you can resharpen the saw. So create a schedule that's going to serve you well. And that's going to serve you to get to another level in your health, in your business, in your team building, in your relationships, all of that. So that was our training this evening, but I just wanted to open it up to, if anybody has any questions, little parts where they might be stuck. Couple things that I put out there, that I was through the Eric Worre, we were talking about how many people actually show up early and who shows up late. And it's interesting how many people show up late. And he said showing up on time is showing up late. And he said, people should be early so that they're prepared, so that they have everything lined up. So that's very, very important. These are things that we all need to focus on. So anybody want to ask any questions in tonight's session? Anybody want to open up and ask any questions, or based on the training?
Yeah, can I ask something?
Yeah, sure. Is that Janet?
You're muted, Jan.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but we're in a very kind of social industry. So we're always connecting to people, talking to people. And once in a while, I don't feel like connecting with people and talking to people and calling people and following up with people because I get tired. So yeah, so I think it's the opposite. Like, I really want to connect with people, but then sometimes I really don't want to connect with people.
Well, that was me yesterday.
You gotta listen again, you gotta listen to your body. It's called, Janet needs to sharpen her saw. So she needs to do something that's going to give you that sense of peace, and then you get back into it. So yeah, often when I don't feel like talking to people, but I know I have to get things done, to have that sense of accomplishment that I wanted to do in that day that's on my schedule, I'll do it through sending information rather than giving them a call. And then when I feel better, I'll just call them up and just mention that I sent them some information. Did they have a chance to have a look at it?
Janet, to answer to that, and I can really relate. On Sunday, I mean, every weekend we've been doing these trade shows and it's nonstop, right? And yesterday I was in this mode where I will indulge things that I know my wife totally does not agree on, but I will just watch TV, eat bad food. And I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying that in my case, yesterday, I was just absolutely like a couch potato, literally. And I felt good. And I felt relaxed and rested. And this morning I woke up and I was so productive. So my message here is give yourself permission to completely, unplug and do whatever it is that you want to do, opposed to force yourself all the time every day. Because if you're constantly under pressure, always pushing, you get to a point where you crack. You just, it's not good. So sometimes you need to give yourself permission to unplug, but just remember that you need to replug eventually, but it's totally, totally okay to do that.
Okay. Does anybody else feel like that?
Okay. Yes. Who else feels like that? Put a 2 in the chat if you feel like that sometimes. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's when you unplug. You got to listen to your body. Your body's saying enough. like that was me today. My body was saying enough. It was, you know, I did that one extra day with Erica and we had so much fun. Oh my gosh, it was fun. We got lots of leads, but it hit me like a truck today. And I just, my adrenaline, of course, I got to clean up the house, got to do this and do that. But I took a nap because I needed to take a nap. And you just got to listen to that and get up and do your thing.
And
Mhm.
FYI, we do that as a couple cleaning up the house. I don't expect Tammy to do it all. Just thought of underlining that. Yeah, go ahead, Mary Paul.
Like I just want to say, like, we're building this business to create a lifestyle. So what is the lifestyle we want to create? Do we want to create a stressful lifestyle,
Mhm.
or do we want to create a wellness lifestyle? So, you know, like, unplugging is part of this, because like you, Tammy, said earlier, we have to, or Chris, I'm not sure, I forget now, but we have to sharpen the saw, and sharpening the saw means that you have to take a step back in your day or in your week, take some time to just do nothing, or just to go to the beach or go for a walk or do whatever without your phone and without having to call anybody. And I think you need that as a human being, because you can't be working 24/7.
Oh, no. Absolutely correct, Mary Paul. 100%.
No.
You know, like we give, you know, when you're prospecting, when you're talking to people, you give a lot out of yourself, and nobody's giving back to you,
Mhm.
you know, and personally, you know, to elevate your well-being, you got to do that yourself, right?
Mhm. 100%. You sold that on. I mean,
Yeah, it's so true. That's why exercise is our thing, just
Mhm.
to release and yeah, just feels so good.
actually exercising in the morning, even though often it's just, oh my God, I so don't feel like it. But after we're back, oh my God, it feels absolutely amazing. You feel refreshed, your body feels strong. And these are all the little things that are very, very important. And this, again, this has to be your daily, your daily operation. We want to stay fit. We want to keep fit, but we also want to make money, but we also want to live our life. We also need time with the family. And so there needs to be balance with all of this stuff. And this is really, 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 really important. You can't be too what's the lump-sided on, for example, business, 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 because I could be really guilty of that. And it's very important to unplug and shut down and create balance. This is really, really important. But there are moments, folks, in life that you need to be very, very focused, and you need to be diligent in the consistency and pushing hard. Because I can tell you, if you talk to any successful people in the world, I can tell you that they have been moments in their lives where they had to push through and it was not easy. So you have to also measure what is it that you want out of life, because sometimes there will be sacrifices that needs to be done. But at the end of this huge commitment, you also need to create a balance of resting, unplugging, and that's really, really, really important. And I'm grateful because my wife is good to recognize that. Well, me, I will work till the core, till I have nothing left to give. And I'm telling you, it is not a good place to be. I've done that for years and years and years of my life until I realized, no, I don't want to live that way. And honestly, network marketing has been such an incredible blessing, because honestly, we don't need to work that hard. But the reality is that we want the team to do well. We have to lead by example. And the reality is that we also want to, there's some new FT goals that we set for ourselves by rubbing shoulders with the Eric Worreys of the world, realizing, well, we've done well, but you know what? We could do so much better. But again, it has to be what it is you're looking for, what matters to you, and what's important to you.
Exactly. Anybody else want to ask any questions or make a comment?
I was just going to say, recently somebody said on one of the platform, like not an associate, but some guru that we're listening to, he said that yes, we need to rest. But he says, how much time do you need to rest? Like, do you need 5 hours? Do you need 6 hours? Or do you need 3 hours? Or you need a whole day? So it boils down to what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But if the multi or billionaires are, you know, are doing it, like, we could follow some examples.
And the good thing is when you're independent, you can take those moments, right? You can take those moments to move forward.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I just,
As our hand up,
recommended-
Tammy, sorry.
what's that?
Lucy has her hand up. Just give her a
Oh,
chance.
sorry. Sorry, Lucy, I didn't see that.
I remember that one of the training, Eric Worre said that many people in network marketing are introvert. And they need, we are not in front of the room because we like it necessarily. Because we do it, it's a duty to share and to be there for the team. Like you said, you need to be the example. But if we are introvert, I am. And but we need to give ourselves. It's because of the mission. We are on a mission, so that's why when we are introvert, we cannot be all the time for others. We need to go inside. We need to have some insight, and for the reflection, that's where we find our strength and our desire to do more and better. So. That's touched me when he said that, because I recognize myself in that, and we need to follow that. We need to accept and respect that, because if we want to be the best that we can do. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That was well put out, Lucy.
Yes, absolutely. So I put out this book for anybody who wants to read this book. It's a good book. Some of you have already read it, I'm sure. And it just kind of helps you to break some of these habits and how to replace them with good habits. And yeah, so if you haven't read this book, you might want to pick that one up. It's a good read, and it's going to help you follow the process as well. And so many leaders that I've talked to over the years talk about this book. So if the top leaders are reading it, you got to be reading it. So yeah, this is it's a good one. Alrighty, so we're finished with this session. Chris, maybe you can stop the recording, and I wanted to continue, so don't go off the platform yet.